Welcome to the Inspiring Tech Leaders podcast with me, Dave Roberts. As part of the Stantec.io podcast series, I recently had the pleasure to speak with Gus Sukkurwala and Mark Johnston from Stantec about how they're seamlessly incorporating virtual engagement efforts into public consultations using digital technologies that enable smarter and more informed decision-making processes. Many thanks again to Stantec for allowing me to share this insightful podcast with the Inspiring Tech Leaders audience. I hope you enjoy this episode. Welcome to the Stantec.io podcast, where we speak with our scientists, designers, engineers, and architects who are working with our digital practice teams to develop creative, technology-forward approaches that accelerate and improve our ability to solve the most difficult challenges facing our clients, communities, and industries. I'm Dave Roberts, and on today's episode we feature Gus Sukkurwala and Mark Johnston. Gus is a principal in our innovation team based in our Waterloo office in Canada, and Mark is a director of planning for community development based in our Glasgow office in the UK. Mark and Gus are going to talk today about Community Engage, a cost-effective solution for delivering public consultations online that meets legislative requirements and enhances engagement in the community. Welcome to the podcast, Mark and Gus.
Thanks, Dave. It's great to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, likewise, Dave.
Great. So let's start off by learning a little bit more about you both. How long have you been with Stantec, and how did you get involved with Community Engage?
I've been at Stantec 10 years now. I think I just got my long service medal a while ago. But my current role is that of Director of Planning. I'm based up in Glasgow most of the time, but working across the UK and Ireland. And that role, I suppose, requires frequent, meaningful engagement with stakeholders, the public and planning authorities. So Community Engage is a natural fit for us planners, and it's something that I was very keen to get engaged with and to get involved with. And as a result, I kind of put my hand up and volunteered to try and push the technology forward and push forward our client requirements.
Excellent. And what about you, Gus?
I've been with Stantec for 17 years now, a little bit over. And it's been a great journey of innovation and creativity that Stantec has really enabled us to go down.
So Gus, what are the key features and functionality of Community Engage?
In terms of the Community Engage part of things, it was really started for our work through the challenge that we all faced in March of 2020 with COVID coming on. And it posed a real challenge for our clients to be able to interact with their stakeholders, their communities, their partners. And we were finding the same that was happening within Stantec and its environments. So it was something that was needed in the industry at large and in the communities. And we found that, through our innovation and our creativity, we could actually take the conversations virtually to the stakeholders that we wanted to have a conversation with going forward, and not have to stop our dialogue because of the physical distancing required. So the features and functionalities associated with Community Engage platform really result from the unique approach we at Stantec have taken to using technologies related to virtual environments. I would say the immersive nature of the environments we deploy make them useful and unique. The environments make audiences feel more engaged, and that's due to their closeness to a regular process that they would engage with in real life. So it's the realism that brings comfort to the audiences and increases their ability to interact and engage. So I would say the key features of our platform include realism, immersion, and an audio-visual interface that parallels the real world.
The immersive element is so important, as you say, Gus. The technology is now allowing us to provide this service within our mainstream markets. So coming to you next, Mark, why has Community Engage been so popular with our clients?
Community Engage, it genuinely started as a pandemic response. Initially, clients were looking for a way to fulfill their public and stakeholder engagement obligations, whilst obviously we couldn't meet anybody in person and we couldn't have those town hall events that we used to have. So initially, I guess it was a means to an end, but when we got into it, the technology quickly proved its versatility. And as the team got more familiar with it, their own capabilities and design flair really began to shine through. The creation of bespoke rooms, we added new features, we're constantly thinking about the what ifs. And similarly, the clients and project managers quickly began to ask for new additions and to kind of push the boundaries of the platform. And that's why it's kind of popular with the clients, because in essence, Community Engage, it does two things. It's a means of showcasing the proposals. You can gather feedback through it, but almost more significantly, we found that the online platform gives a greater equality and a greater opportunity for audiences to make their views known. I suppose in that instance, I would go back to the fact that it's the possibilities of reaching a wider audience, and it becomes a safe place for people to make their views known. They don't have to stand up in public and ask questions. They don't have to disagree with their neighbours. It's really an egalitarian platform, which is one of the advantages and disadvantages of the internet, is fairly well documented. But from a client perspective, the comments or that come back really for them are more honest as a result of all of that, and it helps to engage the silent majority, and we don't get the opponents of change and being the loudest voices in the rooms, and that's got to be good value for clients.
I absolutely agree with you, Mark. Gus, can you perhaps talk a little bit more about the underlying technologies that are being used as part of Community Engage?
We leverage the most cutting-edge technologies in 3D modeling, and we wrap them in information management platforms to deliver the experience through a web browser over the internet. And the focus is to make the user experience simple, effective, and interactive. The user experience must be seamless using a mobile device or a desktop. So the technologies enable us to make the user experience as interactive and as real as possible. We host our product on Azure, and the infrastructure is scalable based on our clients' needs.
That's great to hear that we've got scalable solutions for our clients. Mark, can you perhaps tell us a little bit more about how we've helped to deliver value to clients through the use of Community Engage?
I think value it's an interesting concept. At the beginning of Community Engage, value really was inherent. It allowed the project to progress through that pre-planning engagement phase, even under the restrictions of lockdown. But since those restrictions have lifted, the value really comes from the versatility of Community Engage. I think through one project portal is a central place to base all of the project information. We can embed all of the technologies that Gus has described, and we get to seamlessly integrate those and create a user experience that's far removed from those good old days of town hall Q&A sessions or static posters in a room with somebody like me trying to describe as best we can what's coming. So the technology not only allows that engagement, but it encourages a more in-depth interaction, if I can put it like that. I suppose if we take the example of a fly-through or virtual reality experience of a new development before it's actually physically built, we get to present all of that imagery within Community Engage, give people a real flavour of what's to come, rather than just relying on what their imagination might conjure up at the end of the day. And from a client perspective, that does help to build the excitement around the project, the positivity, and it comes with the added advantage for them of controlled messaging. You get to put your message out in a very clear and well illustrated manner.
That's fantastic, really adding value.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Gus, what is next on the product roadmap for Community Engage?
That's a good question, Dave. Our team is really focused on creativity and innovation. And what that really means for us is that we're continually looking at pursuing the ultimate user experience and building environments that function increasingly in real time. And the new virtual environments we are designing will allow the same experience as a video game and provide similar interactivity for others online as well. And so what really happens is that the users can share the experience with others at the same time virtually. And these become really immersive virtual environments, and they enable real-time conversations between the experts on the information. So for instance, where clients who have all the information that they want to share with their stakeholders, and that being shared with multiple audience members simultaneously. And this concept of immersive interaction is getting more and more traction. And we see musicians like Charlie Puth delivering concerts, which he did recently in the metaverse, using technologies used in the video game Fortnite, which is really the same technology we're using to create content and to deliver solutions. Now, these immersive environments will also enable virtual avatars for audiences that are seeking privacy during their interactions.
The metaverse, as you say, provides us so much potential going forward, and it's really going to change the way that we interact via the internet. Mark, how do you see clients using Community Engage in the future, though?
For me, Dave, the unexplored excitement of Community Engage is about targeted engagement, and that's the bit we haven't really yet got to grips with, if I'm honest, within Stantec. The full extent of what online engagement can offer in this arena. And by that I mean sort of seeking out, engaging with specific sectors of the community. We can do that through targeted social media advertising, a bit through organic search, and a bit through targeted banner advertising. And to me, as a planner, that offers one of the most exciting prospects, because it helps our clients engage and gather the views of marginalized communities, sections of the communities who would otherwise just choose not to engage or miss the mainstream media advertising, or in some way just not be involved with the project. They may have absolutely valid views that they need to express and just don't otherwise get the chance to do it. But if we can reach them through targeted advertising of the event, it really helps with engagement.
Fantastic. And finally, Gus, if I wanted to learn more about Community Engage, what should I do next?
Well, you should reach out to folks like Mark or myself or any of the team members. And you can also find more information about us on the stantec.io webpage.
Well, it's been a real pleasure talking with both of you today about Community Engage and understanding more about how we're using Community Engage to enable greater, more diverse public consultation engagement. So thank you once again for being part of the Stantec.io podcast.
Thank you, Dave. And I think watch this space for anybody listening out there. It's an exciting tool and it's an exciting platform.
Well, brilliant. I can't wait to see what comes next on this incredible journey. Thank you for listening to the Stantec.io podcast. If you've enjoyed listening, please tune in to future episodes where we'll continue to explore how digital solutions are shaping our world. In the meantime, you can also visit our website at www.stantec.io for further information. Please remember to subscribe to the podcast and stay tuned for more inspiring tech leaders.